Hello, and welcome to Group Two's presentation of National Electrical Code Chapter 3, Article 334, Non-Metallic Sheathed Cable, Type NM, NMC, and NMS. Group 2 consists of Gary Moore, Michael McCall, and Gene Melion. At the conclusion of this presentation, there will be a slide with brief examples of where you can go to seek further information on this topic. In this presentation, we will cover definitions, installation, including uses permitted, not permitted, protection from physical damage, strapping and securing, ampacity, and construction specifications of non-metallic sheath cable. Definitions. Non-metallic sheath cable is a factory assembly of two or more insulated conductors enclosed within an overall non-metallic jacket. Type NM is insulated conductors enclosed within a standard non-metallic jacket. Type NMC is insulated conductors enclosed within an overall corrosion-resistant non-metallic outer jacket. And type NMS are insulated power or control conductors with signaling, data, and communication conductors contained within the same overall non-metallic jacket. Installation permitted. Type NM, Type NMC, and Type NMS are permitted to be installed in the following, except as prohibited by NEC 334.12. 1 and 2 family dwellings, multifamily dwellings of type 3, 4, or 5 construction, other structures of type 3, 4, or 5 construction. The cable shall be concealed within walls, floors, or ceilings that provide a thermal barrier of material that has a minimum 15-minute finish rating. In cable trays and structures permitted to be type 3, 4, or 5, when the cables are identified for use. Types 1 and 2 construction, where installed within raceways, permitted to be installed in types 1 and 2 construction. Type NM is permitted as follows. Exposed and concealed work in normally dry locations except as prohibited in 334.10.3. Installed or fished in air voids in masonry, block, or tile walls. Type NMC is permitted as follows. Exposed and concealed in dry, moist, damp, or corrosive locations, outside and inside walls of masonry, block, or tile, and in shallow chases in masonry, concrete, or adobe, protected against nails or screws with a steel plate a minimum of 1/16 of an inch thick and covered. Type NMS is permitted as follows. For both exposed and concealed work in normally dry locations, except as prohibited by 334.10.3, and to be installed or fished in air voids in masonry, block, or tile walls. Uses not permitted for all types. A full list of uses not permitted is contained in 334.12 of the National Electrical Code. In any dwelling or structure not previously listed as permitted, exposed in dropped or suspended ceilings in other than 1 and 2 family dwellings, as service entrance cable, in commercial garages having hazardous classified locations as defined in Chapter 5, Article 511.3 of the National Electrical Code, in theaters and similar locations, in storage battery rooms, in hoistways, or on elevators or escalators. Types NM and NMS are not permitted where they are exposed to corrosive fumes or vapors, where embedded in masonry, concrete, adobe, fill, or plaster, in a shallow chase in masonry, concrete, or adobe, and covered with plaster, adobe, or similar finish. How to install. All types must be protected from physical damage. They can be secured to lower edge of the joist in unfinished basements when it's not smaller than 2 6 AWG or 3 8 AWG wires. Smaller cables must be installed through board holes or protected by the use of running boards around the installation. When installed through metal framing members, grommets must be used. When installed through wood framing members, grommets need not be used. However, the bored holes must be placed so that they are centered in the framing member. This will protect the wire equally on both sides. In the event that the wire is not protected by a 2-inch distance from the edge of the framing member, a steel plate measuring 1/16 of an inch thick must be used to ensure that the wire is not damaged by screws or other finishing attaching materials. A bending radius of not less than 5 times the diameter of the cable must be adhered to at all times. The wire must be supported and secured by staples, cable ties, or straps so as not to cause damage, and at intervals not exceeding 4.5 feet between staples or 12 inches from the box or other outlet device that the wire is going to. Horizontal runs through framing members constitute support and secured if they're secured at 12 inches from the box or other outlet, and at no point during the run through the bored holes in the framing members are the spacing exceeds the 4.5 foot maximum. Non-metallic sheath cable can be installed directly into a device without a separate outlet box, provided the device is intended for such use and has a separate cable clamp attached. Ampacity for non-metallic sheath cable is determined in accordance with Article 310.15 of the National Electrical Code. The allowable ampacity shall not exceed that of a 60-degree conductor. Where more than 2 cables are run through the same opening without maintaining separation, and the opening is to be sealed by caulk, thermal barrier, or other means, the ampacity shall be adjusted in accordance with Table 310.15 B3A and the provisions of Table 310.15 A2 of the National Electrical Code. Construction specifications. All non-metallic sheath cable consists of an outer sheath that is non-metallic. In addition, it must include a grounding conductor in the sheathing. Insulation must be of a type that is included in Table 310.104A. Type NM cable must be flame retardant and moisture resistant. Type NMC cable must be flame retardant, moisture resistant, fungus, and corrosive resistant. Type NMS is constructed the same as type NM with a flame retardant and moisture resistant outer sheath. In addition, the sheath must be applied so as to separate the communication conductors from the power or control conductors included in the sheathing and cable. The next slide will give a brief overview of additional training resources that give more detail on this topic and other topics that are included in the National Electrical Code. The National Fire Protection Association is the authority publishing the National Electrical Code. By going to their website and joining as a student member, you can access many trainings, including updates every time the code cycle updates that will outline the changes and what they mean for the electrician in the field. In addition, you can join the International Association of Electrical Inspectors. This will give you the chance to network and learn from those that have already achieved the rank and title of inspector and allow you to perform a much more fluid, efficient, and code-conforming installation, in addition to increasing your knowledge and expertise within the field. The International Association of Electrical Inspectors magazine publishes articles each month on this and other topics included within the realm of electrical installation. These topics are varied and focus on content that we are not always thinking about in the field, and is a great resource. This magazine is included free with your membership to the International Association of Electrical Inspectors. The National Electrical Code, NFPA 70, is also a resource. In the event that this slideshow did not have all the details, which is impossible in such a brief slideshow, feel free to review the applicable section of the National Electrical Code at your own leisure. It's also a good idea to review random sections of this book as you prepare for your journeyman's exam or as you are working on a job site and topics come up. Finally, the Florida Electrical Apprenticeship and Training Program is perhaps the best resource for learning about this and many other topics and how to be a journeyman electrician. If you're viewing this slideshow, you are already an apprentice. We encourage you to speak to others that are on your job sites or just getting into the trade about the benefits of apprenticeship and what it can do for them. Thank you for reviewing this slideshow, and we hope it has been informative.